What's up, my big chunguses? Welcome back to another video. And, well, today is a more interesting video. Um, I know I need a better upload schedule, but given recent events, I just don't have the will to do so. Anyway, the whole purpose of said video is Five Nights at Freddy's 2 possible theories. I've done this same exact video with the Batman 2. I have a real big thing for mainly sequels. If there's a third movie, you kind of find it predictable, you know? Like, for example, let's put Sonic 2 into the mix. It's obvious that it's probably going to be based more on the Shadow the Hedgehog game, and it's going to involve Sonic, but it's clear that it's going to be focused more on its antagonist until the light is shined on our protagonist. It's a bit confusing to understand for the natural corporate mind, but I think you get it. Anyways, my big chunguses. Today, we are not talking about Sonic. However, I really need to. I need to get on another video about that because last time I talked about Sonic was, well, 10 months ago, give or take, when I was living with my aunt at the time. However, if you're wondering what theories I possibly have, this is going to be a full spoiler review. So I kid you not, if you have not seen the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, do not watch this. Anyways, I believe I talked a little bit about in my last video about this movie because I just saw it that night. Now, we're supposed to be talking a bit. Now, let's get the obvious out of the way. What animatronics and story do I think take place for the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie? Well, if you have seen the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 movie, then you will know, my good fellows and top gamers, up nerds. Nerds. I said nerds, but replaced the D with the T. Don't know why. Look, I just had my Thanksgiving dinner today on like the 24th. So if you could please give me a break, that'd be lovely. I am like in a food coma right now. Like, it's ridiculous. It is also very late at night. 11:50. I'm tired. Anyways, this video is on my mind because of some simple mechanics they put into the movie. Now, possible animatronics for the next movie. Knowing Scott, he's going to have a lot of control with this, given his control on the last movie. Now, I will admit, they had to do a little bit with this because a movie is, as much as you say, a book has more thought into it, yes, but a movie has more premise. Now, what I mean by this is you gotta consider how the character acts, looks, and feels. Now, next movie, we know that the puppet is going to be involved. The marionette, if you will. Now, first things first, we know Michael Schmidt, the main protagonist of the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 movie, has a lot of dreams. So, outside of the marionette, my first instinct, since this movie had great effects, great animatronic designs, for just a $20 million movie, which, let's be honest, if we're comparing movies here like I did earlier, then you got to Consider the fact that Godzilla minus one was near that budget as well, but that was made from Japan. I mean, and look at that. It's a godsend compared to Five Nights at Freddy's, which I hate to admit, but they did good, but not like, come on. Legendary Pictures, I beg you, do better. Please. Like, you're having Godzilla in the comics whoop Superman's. Come on. They're out here making $20 million budget kaiju movies and $20 million kaiju movies and absolutely destroying like MonsterVerse movies for me. I'm sorry. Hate me if you will. Godzilla 2014. Where was Godzilla besides the ending? And the one San Francisco bridge scene, King of the Monsters, that was literally just fan fiction for any original Toho Kaiju fan to get more hooked. Kong Skull Island, I think, was the only movie they really put any whatsoever effort towards in anyway. But surprise, surprise, why would they do that? Probably because it's an an American original release. Why do you think they'd give Kong the better treatment than Godzilla? Now, sure, Skull Island had its problems, mainly with its casting, and that's mainly because it had Hollywood overused actors, such as Captain Marvel. I'm too tired to remember whatever her name is. Samuel L. Jackson. Love the guy. But you can't deny, just like how Will Smith used to be, or Ryan Reynolds, or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or even Chris Pratt, which, I mean, come on. Chris Pratt has played Mario and Garfield now. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay. I'm sorry. Hollywood, stop using overused actors. My point being, I forgot where I was going with this, to be honest with you. But let's be honest here. Cut that all aside. I'll save that for another video. You know, all the Godzilla's stuff. Oh god, I'm tired. Oh crap. Okay. Anyways, Five Nights at Freddy's a 2. Marionette, we obviously heard her the puppet. We heard its music box at the end of the movie after the end credits with the Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where you want to be. I'm sorry, I look stupid. Anyways, let me get my hair out my eyes. Anyways, God, son of a. Okay. Anyways, if I were to guess, the probability of another animatronic is pretty high, but let's get the main ones out of the way. It's been confirmed. I mean, come on. It's bound to happen. The movie was a massive hit in the box office, especially with the fans, the critics. Who really cares? Hollywood doesn't anymore. They just hear them out, think for a minute, and say, yeah, no. I mean, it happens with all movies. They still get a sequel. For example, how the... Ooh, that's... You know what? I'll save that for another one. That angers me still. Anyways, how would they incorporate the puppet into the second movie? Probably because outside of Golden Freddy, the puppet is one of the most important animatronics to the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. Now, you're probably wondering where I'm going with this. Let's look at the main cause and effect in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, the movie. Mike liked to sleep a lot. Mike Schmidt, our main character. He loved to sleep. Now, from the sounds of it, we heard Abby, his sister, say that nobody takes care of the animatronics anymore. So it's obvious that she is referring to the Wizards. They are going to get so non-taken care of anymore. They're going to be withered down in the next movie, which means either Mike is going to probably be within You could tell that Mike in this current movie was probably in his late 20s, give or take. That looked like a 28-year-old man to me. If not the youngest, 26, which at that point is just a bit by his mid 20s. But if I were to guess, um, let's say this. In the next movie, it's obvious Abby's going to probably be older. So they're probably going to get a replacing actor or do the God of War treatment and wait for her to get a little bit older. But think about it. If you put the movie's time frame too close to each other, they're not going to be that good. Now, I'm not saying William should be like Springtrap should wait 30 years until he comes back to exact his revenge like Pennywise, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they should do this similar to how the Fourth Closet or Twisted Ones played out, especially with Springtrap's return, because that's the only way they can do it given the way they have this set up. So think about it like this. Springtrap in the games was locked in a room for about 30 something years, right? And he gets found, shipped off to Fazbear Frights, new animatronic, tries killing you, and so coincidentally, it's Mike. So they could probably play within the Fazbear Frights, but the way I'm thinking is the animatronics aren't going to be broken. They're not. They want to play with the Wizards before they play with the Phantoms. So, anyways, back to what I was saying about Mike's dreaming earlier. This could play into the nightmares. This movie, the second one, will have a budget of $258 million. Now you gotta understand, this is a lot of moolah to be swimming in. More so than my just girthiness on my body. So you gotta understand here, what is going to happen? What am I referring to? I'm referring to the Nightmare animatronics. However, I don't think it should be the full Nightmare gang. Because what's the purpose of making a whole Nightmare animatronic game for one dream sequence that resembled one night at Freddy's? Let's say one night he's having a bad dream, thinking about Freddy's again. And his mind goes to that. He dreams. I think if that's the case, he should dream about Nightmare, the animatronics specifically. If you don't know what I'm referring to, I don't have the picture set up. That's kind of upsetting. Okay. Anyways, forget all that. I think it'll be Nightmare. I think it'll kind of be a way to just set how freddys is for Mike. So that or Abby will dream it, one of the two, since it has been confirmed that Abby was dreaming too and seeing the kids, but the kids were more friendly with her. Now, those are my two main hypotheses. Blech. Theories. Which I don't want to use the word theory because school is like, no. I'm using this as a hypothetical theory. Screw Albert Einstein. Anyways, I don't care. I don't even know what I'm talking about. There's going to be so many high schoolers in my comments that are going to criticize me for that. Anyway, if I was to say what that man animatronic gang would be, I want to say the Fun Times because it would make sense, but I don't think that's the case because you got to think in my shoes. They obviously want to make FNAF go out with a bang, especially since they have games, movies, and books. What else can you go with after that? They even got game catalogs. I mean, that's something you can't really go off of, So, the way I see it, FNAF 2 should be bigger, definitely, especially with its budget. But I think they should be careful because this is real easy to mess up. I think how the movie should start. It shouldn't be PG-13. I think it should be a little bit more for mature audiences. For example, not R, but mature, you know? Like, for more mature audiences. Just like, it's FNAF. You're dealing with this, right? That fella right there. Killer robots possessed by dead children's souls. And I feel like I got kind of cheated with the last FNAF movie about that. Don't get me wrong, I loved the movie, and I still do. And I get some people say they don't like it, but that's because some of them are lore fanatics, like Jack. But think about it, Jack played the games. I don't know if he's read the books, but I mean, even Scott said that Scott's attention has always been more on the books rather than the games. I mean, why would Scott always change the daughter of William? That's the better question. I mean, he definitely made a better story with how Security Breach could go. That's also another thing. Now, as much as I hate, and I mean hate, to say it, I think as much as it hurts me to my very core to say this, the next movie I feel like should be based on the toy animatronics. That are the fun times. One of the two, I don't care which, but it's definitely going to be focused on those animatronics. And the Wizards, clearly. But I've noticed a pattern with Scott. He goes with the originals, the scary ones, and then brings out the fun times. Now, I'm referring to the main timeline Silver Eyes canonical book series. Reason I say this is because, think about it. You could do so well with that. And the next movie start off with a nightmare chasing Mike dream sequence. Abby wakes him up, and Mike's still looking for a job because Mike pulls an Ant-Man from the MCU, tries hiding his record. He gets fired every time he does when they find his true record. And let's say that the only place he can afford is a new pizzeria, again with the night shift. However, the animatronics start acting a bit quirky at night and start chasing him down. I mean, it's the only logical explanation that I could figure out. Now, either these two animatronics could be the toys or the fun times. However, I do think it's most likely going to be the toys because recent theories have stated that, I mean, come on, Matthew Lillard has already confirmed that he signed a three film contract. I mean, the movie was a massive success at the box office. I mean, there's just so much more that I could ramble on about. I mean, it was a Blumhouse success, the greatest horror movie so far of 2023, I mind you, and was Blumhouse's biggest film to date. And it probably made massive records on Peacock too. And it got 7 awards due to Peacock. I mean, Blumhouse. So a sequel's bound to happen. How it does play out, up for grabs. But a sequel's bound to happen. So if you need to confirm something, that's up for me. However, This is my biggest theory yet. Just a theory. Now, personally, I hope Matt Pat sees this, which I know he won't, but he is my godfather. So, think about it like this. I think the next movie will be The Toys, but I want William to not have a part in this. Before you say anything, I got 10 minutes to explain this. If we remember Max the babysitter, I think that's her name, and that's the name we're going to refer to her for now. Max the babysitter. She got bit in half by Freddy, the bite of 23, as people like to call it. But she got stuffed in a purple suit at the very end. There's only two animatronics that I know that are that kind of purple, and that's Mr. Hippo, which is most unlikely, and Shadow Freddy. Do you know what Shadow Freddy does, my friend? Let's look at it like this. The burglars that broke in. There's enough for them. There's probably, my guess is Michael's brother possesses the puppet. Max possesses, you guessed it, Shadow Freddy, while the rest of the burglars possess the main animatronics, which leaves the Mangle just to be in Max's control, to be a full-on wild animal. Now, let's say this. Shadow Freddy. You can save another film for Matthew Lillard to make a 4-film series or spread it out into parts. The first film, you already have him. So that means he has 2 movies left, right? So the next movie, don't have him. The third movie, have him. The fourth movie, don't have him. The fifth movie, do have him. And with Springtrap's story done, at that point, you're good and gone. Perfect. Now, that would mean that you have a span of 5 films. But in the next movie, you can just have Max, who's angry at Michael for not warning her, or just have her being angry with herself. And obviously the other animatronics, they were burglars. They're probably going to blame it on Mike. So if he's working there, they're going to be after him. And I could just imagine how the first guy feels, the one with the crowbar, the one who broke in. Because if you think about it, he was the leader. Who's the leader of the toys? Toy Freddy. He's going to look non-terrifying. A cute, cuddly, big old bear. He ain't going to like that. He's going to want to look like an intimidating guy. So him being stuck in this big old fat bear, robotic bear is just, I mean, come on. Which, yes, I said fat. Screw you, because my whole channel is centered on a fat joke. So, in that case, that's what I think should happen. Shadow Freddy being the villain, given that we don't know much about him, even though that he is a confirmed character in the FNAF lore. However, I feel like that's what should happen. And then the Wizards, the kids, come out and they say, oh, so we got competition now. We remember y'all, didn't we kill y'all? Come here, you rascals. And just pops Toy Freddy's head off. Third film should definitely be probably centered around Fazbear Frights, William, more so, with Shadow Freddy being more or less just kind of gone now. But we never know. We never know. These are all just hypothetical outcomes that could happen. I might like to see 2 play out on screen. I have a few more videos, probably one more coming out tonight. One video coming out tonight, just a double upload, only because I'm tired and I know y'all little rascals want to see the big chungus a little bit more. If I were to say anything though, about what I want to see for the sequel. I definitely just want to see Five Nights at Freddy's. I want to see it more gory. I definitely want to see it play out a bit more. How the puppet and Golden Freddy will bounce off each other. I mean, it's really just a whole thing you got to really realize. It's gonna be a tough thing to do, and I fully respect the animators doing this film. Um, I mean, Max being stuffed in the purple suit as Shadow Freddy is already enough reason to give me speculation. That gives Shadow Freddy a connection with Mike more so than William does as Springtrap. So, for the fifth movie, as much as I hate it, if they do a fifth movie, it'll have to be based on security. I hate that game. I'm sorry. It's not in my canon. It's not. It's an anomaly. Anyways, um, if I were to personally pick, it should definitely probably be based off Security Breach or Pizza Simulator. I really hope it's just three movies. I really don't want this franchise to be milked like another Blumhouse series that I know that has an iconic slasher that wears a mask and is basically Jason Voorhees, but with a shorter weapon. And I'm referring to Michael, but hey, what do I know? All right, well, I'm definitely cutting this movie up. This movie half-hour video up long enough. Let me know in the comments what you will think will happen. And if you dare say anything, I'm probably going to text you just to let you know that you're wrong. And I'll give you my personal preference to sway your mind. I'm kidding. I would never do that. I might text you to maybe work out ideas with you. I'm sorry if I sound ever so tired. I'm filming this at like 12. I'm tired. My computer is almost dead. So I'm gonna charge that before I film again. Let me know what you think. I personally love the movie, and I'm gonna love the second one more. And yes, once Godzilla -1 comes out in America, believe me, on its release date, you will be getting a video. And I think, if I'm correct, the first is next Friday. So give me some credit where it's due. Anyways, big chunk us out. Peace.